Once again, and welcome to another episode of the Lost Sneaker Tapes. A few weeks ago I started off with a new format, and I didn't quite have an idea of what that format was going to be, but I decided, hey, let me experiment with it for a little bit. I decided that for every time I do a somewhat fancier pair of sneakers, or potentially a higher brand pair of sneakers, I figured that I would also try maybe just a low-level brand or a cheap generic brand sneaker, just to mix things up a little bit and also just sort of highlight, you know, the different dynamics, and also to focus on a different target demographic. I think that the things that we've always wanted, but then either we could never afford or it was just not in the cards for different reasons. I have my own pair of sneakers that I hold in very high regards. I've talked about on this channel that I've never had a pair of Jordans. Jordans are readily available. I just never felt like spending a couple of $100s on pairs of shoes. I've always looked at it as an opportunity for me to buy it. I think in a couple of $100s, say $200-300, I could easily come out with 3 pairs of shoes, or maybe even 4 or 5 pairs of shoes, depending on what time of year it is, where I'm shopping, and so much more. That's no disrespect. There are a couple of pairs of Jordans that I would love to own. I don't want us to get it twisted and say that I'm saying anything bad. I'm just using Jordan as a pair. You know, I have no interest in the Balenciagas. Most of the designs, I'm not really into dad shoes per se, even though I am a dad. I like some bulky sneakers. I like some smaller designs as well. But at the end of the day, it always comes down to how much does something cost before I jump into actually wearing them. Because the other thing is, when I do buy them, sometimes I will buy a pair of shoes because they look good, and in my mind I can imagine what I'm going to wear with them, even though necessarily they're not sneakers that I wear every day. And so that's probably one of my biggest addictions, and so I figured, why not turn this channel into a positive from that, because I've bought pairs of sneakers that I've never worn before, simply because they looked good, and in my mind I would picture what they would look good in. What they would look good with, and how I myself would be in them, and you know, what sort of fits. I've lost weight, in many ways, so some of those clothes don't even fit like that right now, and maybe they might never, and so therefore I might have to get them tailored down. Who's to say? But in saying that, today we're doing another simpler pair of sneakers that I found in a Kmart. Once again, I can definitely say Kmart with these. I do not have a receipt for these, but I can tell you that I bought the sneakers in 2 variations. I can't find where the low variant of the sneaker is, but hopefully I've got pictures of them, so I'll be able to share those in the pics. But I do have the high top variations of these sneakers, and I love wearing these sneakers a lot. I'll show you what the sneakers are first, and then we'll discuss the silhouette and then a few things that I've always loved, and then I'll tell you a funny story in regards to this particular silhouette. So let's start off with the silhouette itself. These are a pair of sneakers that I bought off Kmart some time ago. They are a faux leather, as in fake leather. I don't even want to call it leather because it's quite hard and rigid. They remind me of my phone case. But these basically I don't know if you guys have ever played the game Final Fight, because some of you guys might be a little bit younger. The older demographic or people my age and above know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know if you know a character, I think his name was El Gato, but he wore something similar to this along with his camo gear. These are a pair of chucks. I think I've seen Balenciagas with this design as well. But these are a pair of high top chucks, basically. Hopefully this is translating well on the camera, because again, the autofocus might not always agree, because this is black after all, and it's reflecting light and a few other things. But these are a well-worn pair, right? Now, my history with these sneakers is very interesting. I didn't really start wearing these until very recently. I have other pair of black shoes with leather on them that I normally would wear my hooded jackets or something with. I never thought to wear these out per se. But I wore these when I was going to Adelaide and Queensland at some point. There are things that I like about them, and then there are things that I don't like about them. For example, you know, because this is a Kmart brand, these were not expensive shoes. I think I would have bought 2 of these for 24 bucks. The low pair and the high pair. They are Anko branded, so they actually do have the Anko logo, I believe, or maybe not. They just have, I think in the tags they just have badge code and the size, just says synthetic, so synthetic leather or whatever that is, but it just says upper. I was expecting to see the Anko branding. Maybe it's faded out. I think it has, and things are starting to peel in there. These are size 12s. Very good pair of generic chucks, I guess, because they do have the chuck silhouette. I've never actually owned a pair of Chuck Taylors, interestingly enough, and I don't know why. At first, when I was a kid, I didn't like them because everybody else was rocking them. I've grown to appreciate them now. When I think of Converse, I think of basketball sneakers. When I first came to Australia around 2006, I will tell you that Converse was now really experimenting with a lot more basketball stuff. And I think that's around the time when Nike bought them out. And when they bought them out, you know, they went back to just the chucks and everything else. They stopped doing the experimental stuff. I've seen 1 or 2 things that I really liked. I wanted to buy a pair for my daughter, a pair of school shoes, which I'll talk about. I'll attach a picture of them. I thought that they were really cool. They're water repellent, etc. But these, I just really love the design. The stitching is really cool, you know. The leather or faux leather that it is, it's nice hard. It reminds me of like a wallet or something like that, you know. And they do their job. They're not meant to be sneakers that you wear and they'll give you the most support. The sole is starting to fade out because I walked with them a little bit too much. They're not really good for long-term walking anyway. Really great for doing cosplay and things like that. I would recommend, and I'll explain that in a minute. But in terms of these as a pair, I really enjoy these. The low version of these are good too. But the high top, for me, I just like it because I've got a weakness for high top shoes in general. Where it's supposed to catch some of the laces up here, on one of these, I think on my right side, they got ripped off. And again, that's one of those things that you're going to get with buying slightly cheaper versions of sneakers. The quality control is not going to be the same, like you're not going to get that same level of QC. But if you know how to do a stitch very well, or you know how to use a sewing machine, you can probably fix that up, and you know, they'll be right as rain. So the question at the end of the day is, for those Chuck aficionados and people who might have the original Chucks that came with this leather variant, how do you wear them? Well, I'm going to go for a much more cosplay look, if you don't mind. Bear with me and you will see what I came up with and what I usually wear these with. Before I do the unveiling, I was going to lace these bad boys up. Before I do the unveiling, I was going to lace these bad boys up, but I chose not to. So first and foremost, think? I was going to go for the hats, but we'll talk about the hat later. For now, I want you guys to have a quick look and take a guess as to what look I'm going for. I'm going to flip the camera over and it'll give you an idea. What do you think? I don't have my watch with me, but not to worry. I'll put it on in a little bit. What do you think? I was going to go for the Uncharted look. So in fact, to complete it with the Couffier, I could have easily covered. Made sure that I was desert ready, wrap up my face numerous times, but I just wanted to throw this in. I kept wondering to myself, should I go full military, but I don't think it matches necessarily with the pants. But I was questioning if I should go full military, with the hat. I kept questioning if I was to wear a hat, what would I wear, and I sort of tried to put myself in that situation. I sort of told myself that sunnies, sorry, I'm so used to wearing glasses now that they've become second nature. If I was going to go sunnies, which would it be? Because I'm somewhere dark, I'm somewhere very bright and dirt coming into my eyes, etc. So I want to block out the sun, but also protect the eyes in the first place, right? So this will be the look. And I even questioned if I would even go classic and wear a black hat and have that be the look. Wear the black, the lighter glasses, the lighter tint, or go with the black tint. Underneath all that, still have the, instead of having the round ring, I'll take the jade stone that my daughter gave me, and dog tag. Now, normally when I have my camera and stuff with me, what would normally happen, since we're going for the look, since we're going for the complete look, normally what would happen, put these on the sneakers, of course, the sneakers are the main, but we're just talking about what I would pair them with. The sneakers are just part of the show, because like I said, Uncharted, normally if I was to go for the complete look and say maybe I've removed that, I would have my camera belts, and I actually have a pair of leather ones to carry 2 cameras, harnesses that I would have. I would have even gone full cosplay and brought out the bad boy, and actually tucked it, or have it tucked here, or have it tucked in there somewhere, just to, add to the look, right? Because the thing about cargos is you can always find a place to put a longer weapon, and you go for one of these, and maybe even go dual. But for me, this was really what it was going to be. I was going to tuck it in there and give it the proper Uncharted look. Add the glasses to it. Like I said, add the Couffier without actually doing the head covering, because the head covering will be good for certain instances, but because we are in this environment, I would have just gone for one of these. And maybe the black hat to really establish the character and give it that look. If it was a big shoddy, But what do you think? To me, that's the Uncharted look that I personally would go for if it was up to me. And depending on what I'm doing that day, if it's going to be a busy day, something like that, and I just needed a bit of shade, probably one of the girlfriends will be like, what the hell are you wearing? But this is just me if I'm going full cosplay. And if it's not going to be the rose tinted or slightly lighter tint, I'll go for the typical black tint and be good. But I think that the black needs to stand out a little bit more, because I think that when you're wearing camo or khaki, swap it out a little bit, you know. But that's the look that I would go for, you know. Cut your black and silver, and then you've got the shoes themselves, and then, you know, we've got a bit of a contrast there. I think that is a good look. I'll be right back. I think that this is one of those episodes where I ended up having a little bit too much fun. I was going to continue back in the regular clothes that I was wearing rather than my PJs, but I decided, hey, let me get changed first and come back to ground this episode and set it off. I will be putting some outtakes and some other pictures that got left over and things like that at the end of this episode. I hope you guys had a blast, and please tell me what you think. Leave a like, potentially subscribe to the channel, you know, and thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. The channel had sort of taken a hiatus for a while, but now I'm back, you know. I would like to get most of my channels up to at least 1,000 subscribers each. Normally I would say, hey, it would be great to consolidate all these subscribers, but I think that these are different customer bases. I don't mind putting the podcast across all episodes, because that way, I mean across all platforms, because that one is a podcast, so anyone can sort of have it in their playlist and just listen. This, on the other hand, I think that it's such a visual thing, and it's something that you guys would like to look at and leave your own impressions. So I think that keeping them separated rather than trying to pull everybody together. Some people are here just for the tech. Some people are just here to look at sneakers and you know, relax and have good vibes. Some people are just here to watch gaming videos and that's it. So cool beans. My PC is still down, and so editing is just one of those things that's going to take a little bit longer. I will say, however, that at some point I do feel like jumping in and playing maybe Demon's Souls again, a little bit, maybe for a day. I might stream it on my other channel. Who's to say? We shall see. We shall see how the vibe is. By then maybe I'll have already done a video with a new power supply and hoping that I'd fixed up the PC that was playing out. We shall find out, and hopefully it will narrow things down to whatever it is that I'm doing. But the next episode is going to be good. Whenever you hear me say that these are my favorites, you have to understand that all these shoes are my favorite. I bought them with intentions of wearing them, and I find pieces and bits and pieces where they fit in. Some shoes haven't even been worn yet because I haven't found the right time. And when I do find the right time, I think it will stand out a little bit more, and I think it will be appreciated a little bit more. So definitely some stuff is meant for winter purposes. This is more of my summer bag and stuff that's a little bit chilled. So yeah, I would like to say again, thank you again for watching this episode, and definitely catch you on the next one.